So, Giacomo, my good friend, you've been on this episode before. This podcast before. You've been on this podcast before. When was it you came on? Was it about a year ago? Is that how long it was now?
Yeah, Joe, I think it was a year ago.
That's pretty crazy. So, just for everybody's benefit, please just remind everyone who the fuck you are, and why anyone should give a flying fuck about this sexy Italian man that I've got on my podcast. Just so you are part of Glasshouse and Flat28, but just give us a feel for exactly what your role is in that team and what you do on a daily basis.
Sure, Joe. So, yeah. Been there, done that. I'm Giacomo Montangnoli, a former filmmaker, now game developer, narrative designer, and it happens to be also the creative director of Glasshouse, which is this chimera of a CRPG that I'm developing during my spare time.
Mm-hmm. On how much budget, Giacomo, do Flat28 run on?
If numbers could go over the zero, like minus something, probably would be like that.
Yeah. I think like, so in the year since we last did an episode, a lot has fucking happened, right? And I think I do like to highlight the fact that you do this on like your spare time, from paycheck to paycheck, like all of you are doing it in your spare time and just trying to manage it all through like just fucking pure will and determination. And like we'll talk about how far you've come in that year, because I honestly think it's an amazing journey you've been on, and it's a big reason why I wanted to have you back on, because I was like, where we were a year ago, I think by your own admission, Glasshouse was kind of a fraction of what you wanted it to be. And in your own words, the demo that you had out at the time was shit. So
I think we could do something like this. Like each year you come in, you invite me and you ask me, so Giacomo, how many money did you lost this year? And we could, but yeah, now it's not a fraction of what I wanted it to be. Now it's half of what I want it to be. But yeah, we are getting there.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, which is the future wife of Marco from Ruvali, told me once that this beautiful Serbian word, which is Polako, which means consistently slow, that's what that was is me and Glasshouse itself. So consistently and really slowly, we are getting there.
Yeah, Polako, is that a Serbian word? Is it? I thought it was, because the way you really took ownership of that word in Germany. You really, and I was convinced it was Italian, but no, that was from
no, Polako. I think it's a synonym to capybara as a spiritual animal.
Right. No? Okay. Yeah.
That's what we are.
Why is the capybara so popular at the moment, by the way? Have you noticed this? That there's
why did you just ask me the most boomer question possible? Like, it's not that capybara it's famous now. It always has been since 10 years.
Nah, I'm not having it, mate. I'm not having it.
Just open your phone, and instead of watching your logistic pages and spreadsheet, you could look around.
But this is why
Instagram and such,
Listen, this is exactly why I've noticed the what I think is a brand new resurgence of the capybara's popularity, because every fucking advertisement I get is some sort of plushie or capybara themed gift, to the point where I got hook, line, and sinkered into buying 2 plushies. I've now got a pumpkin capybara and a coffee capybara, so I'm like a complete victim of capitalism. And I'm
but me too. Don't worry about it. I am pretty sure that somewhere in the midst of that labyrinth, which is my wardrobe, there should be like a pair of socks, of capybara socks.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm a slave of it too.
So I'm late to the party, but capybaras are still cool. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what the fuck that's got to do with anything else, but here we are. So, right. Glasshouse. Okay. I want to talk a little bit first of all. What is the game, Giacomo? Because when we spoke last time, it was loosely being called a Disco Elysium like, which I know you're very proud of the inspiration Disco Elysium's had on it. But I had the opportunity to play your updated demo in Germany, and I did feel like actually Glasshead had an identity all of its own. So just for everyone's sake, what's your pitch to people who might not know what Glasshouse is?
Yeah, Glasshouse, it's a lockdown CRPG, which is a fancy way to describe a CRPG set during a lockdown in an apartment complex in which at some point a triple murder happens. And basically you need to find a way to prove yourself not guilty or get the fuck out of it. Get the fuck out of the crime scene and leave everything behind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the RPG part of it, you know?
And so just talk to us a little bit about your main character. I forget his name now. I've completely forgotten what the fucking dude's called. What's he called?
Wildmeyer of Godwin.
That's it. Wildmeyer of Godwin, which is a very fantasy-like name. I love that. But he has like
That's the name of your history, by the way. Like it's Anglo-Saxon
oh, is that right?
name. Yeah. It's like if you split the name in two, it's Wild is bringer or holder, and
Right.
Meyer is power. So it's a holder of power, which is the best possible way to describe a player playing a video game.
Yeah. See, now this is the stuff that I really like about what's going on with Glasshouse is you do put like a lot of thought behind stuff. Like this was the thing where, so I had the opportunity to play your demo at Gamescom, and you sat next to me and talked me through a lot of the design choices and the reason that things are, and that in particular is like, it's really, really cool that you put that much thought into the name and you have meaning behind it, right? So just tell us a little bit about Wildmeyer. He's not
Wildmeyer.
just Wildmeyer. He's not just any dude, right? He's got like a level of importance. He's a rank or of some description, right?
Well, actually, Wildmeyer, it's one of us. It's like the most simple possible and boring and mediocre man on earth. Honestly, it's a pipe fitter, so his daily job is to maintain and repairs energetic pipes all around the fiefdom of London stock. But he's actually someone slightly more interesting one within the dormitory 73B, which is the main setting of Glasshouse. It's this apartment block made of 4 floors in which he lives. And basically there is the deputy condo chief. So it's at the head, is the vice head of the apartment complex, subordinated to the condo chief itself, which is McKenna.
Right. Okay. So he's not like a ranking official. He just has a level of importance within that.
No, it's more like that in the world of Glasshouse, and specifically in the society of London stock. You could like distinguish two kind of citizen. There are the citizen that works for the fiefdom or government, and the citizen that works for private companies. So when you do work for the fiefdom, basically you have everything for free. You have a house, you have food, you have money, and such. And if you live in that house, particularly in a dormitory, you have a rank. Okay.
Right.
In which basically there is a condo chief and a deputy condo chief, which they are some kind of legal tutor to what's happening inside the apartment complex itself. So yeah, there's some official ranking, but it's more like when it comes to, okay, who destroyed the machine room? Who's accountable for that? The condo chief and the deputy condo chief.
Got you. Okay. And
They are an extension. They are an extension of the arms of the law.
Arms of government, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so just give us a little brief overview of what kind of world London stock actually is, because I know that you talked a little bit about the current political climate in London stock, and it's, I mean, you talk about it because there's no good me half-arsing it. What's the political situation? What's the general state of the world that you're in?
So basically, we live in a world in which 200 years ago, basically the liberal society lost, and now we live in some kind of a socialist society inspired by the Confederalism Democracy Manifest made by Abdullah Öcalan, the leader of the PKK, of the the Kurdistan, and now I will say something really weird, but the Kurdistan state, and that's what I believe in. And so basically what we have here is a really decentralized world in which there are no more states and there are fiefdoms made by the people without a presidency, but with a ruling council made by different mayor of the district within the fiefdom itself. So in a really similar way to what's happening in Kurdistan, you have this kind of municipal structure, but you don't have a state, you don't have like really big nations and lands and such, because when this new political wave, new quote unquote, because happened 200 years ago in the world of Glasshouse. So basically there was this kind of regulators committee whose job was to prevent the fiefdom to expand over than the limits. Okay, so you have really packed up fiefdoms made of districts, and Will Meyer lives in the dormitory of the district of Winston, which is a tiny bit of it.
Right. Okay.
And oh yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to ask you a follow-up question. You mentioned there that like you're a big fan of the Kurdish states. Kurdish or Kurdistan?
Yeah, it's Kurdish.
Kurdish. It is Kurdish, right? So, like, you know how everybody goes, well, Disco Elysium's a fucking hardcore commie lefty game, which is a reflection of those who made it. I mean, it's not true for all of the people that made Disco Elysium. What do you think people will take away from it in terms of how they view the team in Glasshouse? Is it a reflection of the wider kind of political leanings of the group, or is it purely a Giacomo thing?
No, I sure think the world in which they live, it's based around some kind of a communist utopia. Okay, so it's not exactly communism, but if we want to make it simple, yeah, it's like communism ruled for 200 years. And now what happened is that there's this phantom nation, the Kofopo, which is a nation without borders, unified only by the ideology of liberalism, which in the words of Glasshouse is called confeudocratism. So basically what's happening right now is that there's this kind of quiet revolution in which the Kofopo is trying to make the biggest fiefdom of the world to collapse in order to restore capitalism. So what's happening in Glasshouse right now is that ironically we have this liberal nation, this liberal phantom nation that is trying to take over the revolutionaries. So it's the one way around. I mean, it's like the one who fought to free the country. Now they are the conservatives of that country itself,
Right.
and they are on the other side of the barricade. Which, for the first time, you see, you see this kind of revolution from the opposite side, which once they were the conservative of their own countries. So we live in a really troublesome situation in which right now the fiefdom of London stock is in lockdown. Why? Because a bridge 60 days ago, a bridge collapsed in the district of Landox, and now there's a revolution going on. Like the district is in revolt, and the Great Council of the Fiefdom is talking about a takeover of Kofopo, and you don't know if it's true. You don't know if there's actually a war on the other side of the fiefdom, but for a reason or another, now you're stuck. You're stuck in this apartment block for 57 days, and stuff are happening. Is it really the Kofopo doing the revolt, or is just the citizen of the district of Landox doing the revolt because of the collapsed bridge? So yeah, that's the situation in which you are, and the only thing that you as a citizen you can see is what you understand by looking over the window, because you are in your apartment, you peek over the window and you see that the city really far away from you is burning. So the war is not at your doorstep yet, but you can feel it in the air that something is about to happen, and the player now is taking the helm of the Willmeyer's life during this particular situation.
Amazing. And it sounds like again, like the thought that's gone into your world building is really cool, Giacomo. I'm really fascinated by some of the real world stuff that you kind of turned on its head, some of your own thoughts and ideas about perhaps how the world should be bleeding into this as well. What are some of the things that have influenced you and the team when you've been putting this together? So look, I don't want to talk about Disco Elysium's influence really, because we talked about it before, but actually the last time we spoke, I hadn't played Pathologic, and now I can see just how important Pathologic is to you. So I mean, I'll give you the chance here to like suck the dick of Pathologic, because I know you relish any opportunity to do that. But just talk to me a little bit about some of the other influences that have played a part in crafting Glasshouse.
Yeah, Pathologic is a huge inspiration to us, especially for me. Now, I'm not going to talk on behalf of the other collective members, but when I played Pathologic for the first time, like 5 years ago, that was the moment in which I realized that I needed to do a video game, at least before dying. Okay. And yeah, Pathologic comes in Glasshouse in the form of the structure of the story, because all of the frame of the story it's based around the concept of the Greek theater, a mixture between the Greek theater and the theater of the theater of the sufferance and the tragedy. So because of that, there's this huge metaphor that I can delve into it. But basically, you are Willmeyer, and for the first time in your life, you're walking up to the stage and you're taking a part. Because before that moment, before the before the actual story of Glasshouse, Willmeyer has been, a spectator for the entirety of its life, and now is ready to take the part of the main actor of this mad play. And it's not a casualty. It's not the player now is taking the helm of Will Meyer.
Yeah.
And because of that, you are the main actor of this play. So there are a lot of stuff related to the theater in general. Like if we want to talk about the Greek theater, you see that there's the schwar, which is meant to help the main actor through all of the play, and it's not like it's not like different inner voices, but it's more like a multitude of people inside one, okay? And they whispers to your ears, trying to help you or to better understand the world and the situation in which you are in. But the thing is that every time the schwar speaks, you hear a multitude of voices, and most of them will try to make a conflict with you. And on the other side, you have the director, which is, the director of the play. And it's a unreliable narrator who knows everything about the play because, of course, he wrote it. And because of that, all of the stuff that he narrates I've written in past, in the verbal tense past. So basically, there's this kind of conflict between what Will Meyer and the player wants to do, which is having agency inside the story. But every time you do something, you see the director that is speaking about it like in the past tense, so like if it was written ages ago, like if it was destiny, like if that choice that you made was meant to be like that, was printed on this stone like ages ago.
Yeah.
There's this never-ending conflict between what a man is in terms of action, in terms of being the protagonist of his own destiny. So yeah, that's what he's fighting against with. He's fighting against the destiny, he's fighting against the director, and he's fighting against the inner demons, which takes the forms of the schwar itself.
I mean, so first of all, English speaking people will be going, what's he on about? The schwar. It's choir.
Yeah.
In case anyone was confused.
Yeah. It's choir, but I'm saying the French way because I love French.
Okay, because you're a European and
yeah.
I'm a scumbag Brexiteer.
Because I'm European and not like you.
And like a typical Brit, I thought that I should correct a European on language and be like, actually, you should say it our way because I'm English. And yeah, exactly. You've got my number, mate.
You know what? You should try to colonize that word in Glasshouse.
I should, yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, what you're talking about there is a kind of like there is a little bit of Disco Elysium in there, like the kind of internal battle with the self, and what a man's destiny is, and what his story is supposed to be, right? But also that is very present in Pathologic. In fact, like the director,
the actual director that waits for you.
That's right.
Over and at the beginning of the game itself. Now I forgot about the name, but it's the very picturesque guy with the big hairs backward and such.
Yeah. And fucking hell, what are the dudes called with the white faces as well?
That's the choir.
That's the choir, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What are they called in Pathologic? That do you know what I'm on about? The little dudes you go around speaking to. What the fuck?
Just them.
Is that are they called the choir in that?
No. It's not called the choir, but to me that's what they are.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that's what they do. They point you. They point at you where to go. Okay, like if you think about the beginning of the game, they're standing always next to where you're supposed to be, and most of the time they are silent and they're just taking the shapes of your of the solution to your quest. So they are always around you, always there to help you. That's the Schreier, or at least that's what I think of. But I don't think that I never read something about it, so not quite sure.
Hmm. Well, it's very fucking cool, and it was like a delight for me when playing the demo. Because again, this was something that I hadn't seen in that original build. Was there's a moment in, I mean, how much are you happy for the demo to be talked about here? I know you've had a playtest this week, which we'll talk about in a minute, but like, there's a moment where you are in a theater, quite literally, during your recent demo build.
Ah, yeah, because you died.
I died, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And in fact, actually, I think you streamed this particular moment recently as well, so it's safe to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had a big grin on my face when that happened because I was like, "Ah, now I know." Having played Pathologic and knowing how much you love that theatre influence on Pathologic, that it's
Yeah,
very present.
especially because look, especially because I've been a dramaturg. Okay, at the beginning of my career, I was doing theater in Perugia, and I made a play called Multilove. So
Mm,
I love everything related to the theater, and I wanted to talk more about it. Um, in my own way about what I understood about this never-ending sufferance, which is the cycle of loss, of violence, and the cycle of repeating something
hmm.
over and over and over, with the idea of, if you keep trying, maybe you'll find a way out of your problems,
Mm.
which can be, also a metaphor to an actor itself. No, most of the time when you do theater, the first time that you do can be a mess, especially if you are working in amateurish theaters, not big theater company like the ones that plays at La Scala di Milano. But one of the things that you see is that the first time there's always something wrong within the play itself. But
Hmm.
in my honest opinion, if you go to the last play of a tour, that will be the better one, or
Yeah.
somewhere near the middle, because the more you apply, the more you do it, and the better it will be in the end. And I find it inherently poetic, um, the fact of taking the concept of the theater itself, of the backstage, and attaching it to the game over of Glasshouse. So,
Mm.
for better context, every time you die in Glasshouse, you don't have, a splash screen which asks you to click a button to reload the game. But what you have is like some kind of a contextual game over, in which you have the chance to speak with the director of the play, and you can decide what to do next by picking an actual dialogue line. So all of this happens within the world of Glasshouse, without any kind of UI, external UI, or non-diegetic stuff.
Yeah, you never come out of the experience,
Yes.
right? You're always, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
you want to close the game, you can select the dialogue line, close the game, and good with it, and then the credit will rolls.
Yeah,
So
because
that's
you've
yeah,
decided that that's
yeah, because you're an actor, okay? If you're pissed off, if you're pissed at the game itself, you can say, okay, that was my play. That was the
yeah.
best that I could do, and that was the story that someone else wrote for me, and that's totally fine, because that's part of the RPG spectrum, no? So
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So there was another mechanic in Glasshouse which was new to me, and that was the combat. So, I mean, it is combat, and it's kind of it's quite quirky actually,
Mhm.
because you still you're still very much in the realms of a narrative RPG within that combat space. Like a lot of what's in your armory is about personality, belief, and things like that. Quite quirky in its presentation because it kind of looks like a beat 'em up, like your standard kind of Mortal Kombat thing.
Yeah, we went crazy with camera framing and compositions.
Yeah, I love it. It was brilliant. But just talk to me a little bit about how that idea came about, how you then kind of move forward from idea to creating it to look like that, and some of the thinking behind it.
So basically, the combat in Glasshouse, it's something like, the best way I could describe it, it's something like a two solution puzzle. So it's an encounter that you can solve it by attacking the opponent or by talking with him. And yeah, so if you attack, you will deal damage to the HP bar, and which is pretty simple. So basically, you choose a weapons. You choose a weapon. Each weapon have a different dice. Like in the demo, you can only use the fist because you couldn't find other weapons than your own fist. So if you use the fist, you will roll a d6. But if you manage to take an axe, you will roll a d12. Okay, so it's pretty basic, other than the fact that based on the weapon that you have, you will have a different threat level. So what is the threat level? This is the quirky part of this combat. So you have two bars, the HP bar, okay, the classic one, and then you have the TH bar, which is the threat bar. So basically, if you start with fist, you will have 20 of threat, okay? But if you start with a gun, you will have 60 of threat, because the more the weapon is strong, the more the weapon is stronger, and the more threat you will start with. And what's the point of the threat? If your threat is higher than the opponent's one, then you can try to force surrender and roll a dice to make the opponent surrender. How can you deal damage to the threat? By talking with them. So basically, this is the only part of this system which scales accordingly to your political compass, so to your character progression. For better context, political compass is the character progression of Glasshouse, in which you have 5 ideologies, and you can allocate points to each one of them to build your character, your ideological persona. Okay, so based on what you have, you can, in terms of ideology, if you have allocated a point to 3 ideology out of 5, you will have 3 kind of talk actions, and the rest of the 2 you cannot use it because you don't have any points. So it's like you have that kind of phrase on the tip of your tongue, but you can say it out loud because your character is not built like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you put 5 POVs. POVs are the points, the ideological points, the point of view. You put 5 POVs into colonialism. That means that you can use the colonialism action during the combat in the talk segment. So you talk, okay? You talk in a colonialist way, and you try to figure out the weak point of the opponent. So what's a weak point? Basically, in order to reason with the opponent in real life, the idea is that you need to be to speak like them. Okay, it's more easy. Like if we are both communists, it's probably more. It will be more easier to communicate with you in those terms.
Yeah, because like
yeah,
people have an understanding, right? And it's a shared interest or something, and you're going to get on better with
because
them.
If I'm an anarchist and you are a convinced liberal, probably we will never find a way to reason, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Before you actually have a combat with an enemy, you will have a chance to know that enemy, okay? By going to his chamber and looking at their library, okay? They say that people are what they read. So you can explore their chambers. So when you talk with them, you can use their political beliefs against them, okay? Which brings here, you know, an RPG situation, let's go like that. So if you have a build, a political build, which is the opposite of the other, you can do that. Like you will never manage to reason with them. So you will have to fight it through it, okay? But if you can manage to reason with them, if you hit the weak point, which paradoxically is their strong point.
Their strength,
Yeah, it's what they believe, and that's a game design thing that we are like unraveling our heads around, because for the first time, the strong point of a person is the weak point. So for now, we called it weak point, but we will find a way to make it better, because right off today, you can see that it's pretty difficult to explain it. So there's a lot of stuff to do in terms of tutorial and UX to making understandable, let's say. But if you manage to reason with them and to lower their threat bar, and your threat bar is higher than their, then you can force surrender. And that's a really cool thing, because that means that if you attack, you can kill a person, you can kill an enemy. And if you talk with them and you make them surrender, this means to save an opponent, okay? So basically, we're talking about a game choice-based, in which one of the strongest choice that you can make it is to act in order to make a difference. Okay, so you're not picking a line and decide what to do, which is the most normal thing that you can do in an RPG, okay? You are deciding with your actions what to do. So deciding how to approach a combat is a choice per se.
Are you?
And this will change everything inside the game, because you can kill or you can spare.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, and again, it reminds me of Pathologic, to be honest, where as much of your journey is about who you are able to save and who you are able to, or who you allow perhaps to not be saved, is a big part of it. And yeah, is your intention to have that kind of makeup in the story where, like, is everyone able to engage in combat? Is it likely that you're going to have choices made about all major characters throughout the game? What does that look like in its final version? Do you have an idea about that?
Like, sorry, can you like shrink the question a little bit?
Can everybody die?
Yes.
There you go. Okay, that's very cool.
Everybody can die, and most of them can be saved.
Okay, I won't push you any further, because I'm conscious that's going to be a major part of the game's story. But it's very, very interesting. And I like what,
because you know, if you think about it, it's really easy to take a choice when you know that you are taking a choice.
Yeah,
if you get what I say.
Yeah.
It's much different when it comes to actions, taking a choice, because you are what you do, okay?
Yep.
But in games, this difference is always like highlighted, okay? Hey, man, you are doing a choice. While in Glasshouse, you don't know that you are making a choice until the first time that you actually do it, by beating the shit out of your flatmate.
Yeah. And what I like about this as well, this element of your character's understanding and the people around you's understanding, or their worldview, is really, really cool. And this is like a big part of the experience as well, right? What what kind of person you are is actually, I mean, it goes without saying with an RPG, but I think it has a particular importance in Glasshouse. Like, your understanding of the world around you is as important as your ability to unlock things like a door or discover parts of the building. Like, something you showed me was there was a locked door, or something was locked, and there was an action which was jumbled up letters, and it was an anagram of, I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's part of.
pick the lock, right, or something like that.
Yeah. It was an anagram of the action that you could have done, but since you didn't have the object in your inventory, you couldn't like focus on the words and align them in order to have those understandable. And that's what we call the Cunning System. So basically, it works also with the object in your inventory and with your political compass. So this is a game design and narrative design choice. So basically, what you have normally in CRPG, you think about Disco Elysium, you have skill checks with percentages and RNG that you can tweak a little bit around it. We already talked about it. And then you have the cyberpunk approach, which is you see only the stuff that you can do. Okay. So we are somehow in the middle. If you have not the political ideology required to ask a question or make an answer, okay, you will see that there is something missing, okay, that there is something that you can say, but you can't focus it clearly because that's not you, okay? You will never say something out of your character in real life, okay? You can go a little bit around it, but if your mind is not built around that ideology, you will probably never say it. So, as I told before, it's like having something that you would like to say, you have it on the tip of your tongue, but you can say it loud because that's not you. And that's the idea around the Cunning System. You see that you are missing something, that there's another way around that situation, but you can't read it. You can't read it, okay?
Yeah.
So that's a game design choice because normally people that doesn't want to see the things that they could have done, but they cannot because of their character progression build, okay?
Yeah.
So we are in the middle of it. There's something that you can say, that's something that you can do, but you can't see what you're missing. You're just seeing that there's something else, okay? And that's the idea. But then with the door locked, the idea behind the Cunning System is that basically, if you have a lockpick inside your inventory, you could have seen that dialogue action, okay? Dialogue lines, and that's the idea around it. So there are multiple objects, there are multiple location which hides a lot of interaction, and there's backtracking because based on what you have, based on what you are, you will unlock different interaction to the building that you're living in for ages. So you never know what could happen next.
Yeah. I mean, look, I can wax lyrical about the creative ideas you've got going on, and I think everybody who's listened to you talk about some of the mechanics in your game and the thought behind it would agree. And there were people beyond me, of course, that did agree. One of them was you had a booth at Gamescom, and it wasn't just a booth. We'll maybe get on to what was probably a personal highlight for you and the whole team that came as a result of being at Gamescom. But I just want to first of all, so you were part of it was like the Indie Booth Arena, and you were attached to something called Games for Democracy, right? Just tell me how that actually came about, because it's not cheap to get a game. You basically won a prize, right? To have a game, a booth at Gamescom? Just
Well, we didn't actually earn a prize, because if you say that like that, it seems like that we earned money out of it.
right.
The
Well, I
most
mean,
thing possible. But yeah, so basically what happened is that we wanted to, we knew like 1 year before Gamescom that we wanted to make it to Gamescom for our first time ever. Like I will remember to the audience that this is the first game that we are making. So we are
Yep.
pretty new to fair events, contests and such. So 5 months before Gamescom, we start to look at the Gamescom booths, and we realize that they cost a lot, like a shit ton of money. Like one booth, like the shittiest one, costs something around 5,000 euros. Okay,
wow.
that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot. So while districating myself inside those that god awful website of Gamescom, I figure out that there's this thing called Indie Arena booth, and really there was a really tiny spot which was called the Games for Democracy. If you have a games that is capable to talk about democracy and valorize it, a political game, then submit to it. Tell us why your game is really resonant with the matter, and if you win that contest, we will give you a boot for free. So it's a national contest made by the German government. So that's what I did. Like it seems like the perfect fit for us. It will never ever happen again. So we had the perfect game at the perfect time for the perfect contest. So I applied with Glasshouse, and I wrote like a 3-page essay about why Glasshouse, even if it's a fictional world, it's really important about the today's matters. And in the end, we received an email, and they told us, "Hey, dumb fucks, you have a free boot." So that's how we got there, and it was a pretty great boot. I mean, in the middle of one of the most famous B2C, so boot for the public,
Yep.
for the consumers. B2C, it's for the consumers. The C stands for consumers,
Which
so
is where you want to be,
was
really.
the part
Isn't it?
open to the public, because in
Yeah.
Gamescom you have two sectors. You have the B2B one and the B2C one. The B2B one is like for the huge companies that only wants to showcase the game to the journalists,
Journalists,
or
yeah.
developers, and such. And then you have the B2C area, which is the slaughterhouse, in which basically there are like millions of people crawling on each other's necks to try the new big game.
Yeah.
And we were there. We were there. Somehow we were there, and it was like the best possible experience of my life, because it's not easy for a developer, especially an indie one, especially an amateur one, a rookie like us, like me, to have the chance to see the fruit of 3, almost 4 years of work being reflected on the eyes of a player, you know. So that's what we were doing. We were just standing next to the player, playing our game. We were like the shadow casted by their body, and we were just, you know, having fun by looking at their reaction, by their feelings, looking at them smiling, looking at them like there was this. We have this kind of feature of Glasshouse, which which is we called it the relax the relax mechanic. So basically, you can sit on chairs. Yeah, that we have a features which allows you to sit on a chair and contemplate the lockdown situation which you're in, and then there's an original music write by songwriter Simon Francesco Di Rupo in art The Soul Sailor, and you can chill around it. Okay, so there was this situation in which there was this guy that liked a lot to sit down on chairs and listen to the music, and it was like this, and was really satisfied with what was happening in the screen and what was happening in his ears. And it was really cool because like Gamescom is the worst possible affair. Okay, an event, a game event, can be the GDC, can be whatever. Okay, that's the CRPG is the worst possible game to showcase in an event like that. And in fact, also the guys from Disco Elysium talk about it. Like Disco Elysium was really hard to market during on the show floor because you need to sit down and read and be concentrate. And there's this fucking never-ending dubstep music hitting your ears. So that's really hard. But when you see that somehow someone managed to really vibe with your game, that's something really priceless. And of course there has been feedback, there has been critics, and of course there must be something that we pack it up and we get back home, so we know what are the reaction of the public, of the consumers, and we can understand how to bend the development process in order to make a better game for you. Because in the end, because as much we are artists or we are wannabe artists, okay, and we want to make our art, in the end, video game is a product. Art itself is a product and has always been a product. Like let's not joke around it, okay? Like the most beautiful piece of art that we have in Italy has been a product, because who paid Michelangelo? Who paid Da Vinci? I mean, the most healthiest person on Italy. So that's what we are talking about. So in the end, we are making a product, and the challenge is to make the best possible middle ground in which you are making your art, and your art it's also a bit
viable product
for the others. But in the end, we are making a game for you. Okay, so that's our objective, and that's what we brought back home. A lot of feedback, and then we put our head down and we worked a lot, and now we manage to implement all of that feedback inside the new build that the players are experiencing right now within the Discord playtest.
Yeah. I was going to ask, and this is the great thing about having you on. You're a very good talker, Giacomo, and you kind of like, you understand what the.
But I'm Italian. That's the problem. Yeah. I can say half of the things that I would like to say, because the fucking school system in Italy doesn't work and don't teach us English properly.
Porca Dio. Yeah, I talked with Giulia Martino, as you know, recently, and we talked about my newfound love of Bestemming and
Bestemming. Don't colonize our world, okay?
And Jamaro Mosconi, who is now like, is a legend to me. Amazing stuff. No, I was going to ask about how useful the feedback was, actually, because that's like, as you say, it's like it's a kind of, it's hard to put a value on just having your game now. And I know it's hard to sell a CRPG in that environment, but I did see a lot of people like really taking their time with it and enjoying it, as you pointed out. And there was lots of good stuff said about it. But there was a particular moment which kind of, I think, launched you and Glasshouse and the team into a different stratosphere. And it was a bit of a surprise. It came sort of last minute, if I'm not mistaken. I think
Yeah,
we heard about it in Germany, right? That it was going to happen.
It was nuts because like 1 week before Games Week, before Gamescom, is the crew from the Game Awards, because basically the opening night live of Gamescom is organized by the same crew of the Game Awards. Okay, so the spotless child of Jeffy
Keighley, the face of late stage capitalism,
the master slaver.
Exactly.
Basically, we received an email from this guy Kenny, and I will always be thankful for him. It was like, we saw your game, it's really cool. We wanted to make this kind of segment, which is called Gamescom Cares, which reads the segment that most of the people will hate during the event, because basically, if there's a thing that the audience hate about live streams, is when a video game tries to talk about the reality in which we live in. No, so since now we have Trump and such, and the alt-right is rising above everyone else. Of course, there's this kind of things that goes by keep politics out of video game, and this was the segment, the most political segment of all. Segment about democracy, which fucking drives me crazy. Like, people are upset because there are games that talk about the democracy, which allows them to speak out loud. That's fucking driving me crazy. So because of that, we were like a little bit scared, but fuck off. I mean, who cares? Like, it will never ever happen. Do you know how much a slot in Gamescom cost at opening night live?
Isn't it something like 10 grand a second or something crazy?
I don't 10 grand a second. I don't know about that, but I know that like 30 second costs around 200,000 euros. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. We don't have. Well, we could develop. We could fund like a quarter of Glasshouse development with that slot. That's fucking bad. Okay, and we managed to earn 10 seconds. You do the maths. I'm not good with maths, but we did the 10 seconds for free at opening night live, and it was like the most amazing experience possible. And it wasn't even there. Like, imagine watching your first game, in front of the biggest screen possible, the biggest audience possible, with a lot of important things. Like, you can imagine that probably there was like people from Rockstar, from Naughty Dog, the guys from Subnautica or such, and they were looking at your game. So it was you for a brief moment, for 10 seconds, when the when that woman told the name of Glasshouse, our game existed. Okay. And it was amazing for me. It was amazing. Like, I was almost crying, and I was eating Indian food with you and Alexander while this was happening. Like, all of this only for 10 seconds of celebrity. Okay, of the spot on us, and it was amazing. But there was the lead programmer of Flat28, because basically he did a lot. Like Samuele did a wonderful job with In Glasshouse. For like 2 years, was the only developer in Flat28 collective, and he's a freelance programmer, so life's really tough, especially for freelancer in Italy. And at the end, we only managed to get one ticket for the opening night live, and all of us thought that was for the best to send Samuele there within the audience to take the picture of Glasshouse on the big screen. So it was.
That was a nice touch. That was, because having met Samuel, Gianmarco, who else did I meet?
Marco and Valerio.
There you go. Thank you. What a lovely bunch of people, by the way, and like that happiness. I can't think of a better group of indie devs. I mean, you're not even that really to me. You're just a bunch of funny Italian guys who I spent a few days with. It was really, really nice. Your Disco Elysium inspired CRPG, and I should probably just mention that you did follow another reveal just before, which was kind of an interesting duality. It was, you came straight after the Zero Parades announcement, didn't you?
The timing was amazing. The timing was amazing. You see Zero Parade, and then there's the Nazi detective game, and then there's Glasshouse.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Amazing.
I couldn't imagine a better timeline to be in.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. What have you thought of Zero Parade since then, by the way? What's your do you have any?
I will recycle the question.
I know what you're going to ask me.
That I made you back then, which is it will not happen. But what if Zero Parade in the end is an actually good game? Will you talk about it? That's my question, and you never answer it. So try it now.
Will I talk about it? Will I talk about it? Will I play it? Are they the same question, do you think?
You played it?
No, will I play it and will I talk about it?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a theory. What if it's good? Like, of course, you can say that a game is good while reporting it. Yeah. That's what I will do. I will fucking crack the shit out of it. But yeah,
I think
it's good. It's good.
If it comes out and it's like I don't know, an 80 plus on Metacritic, I don't think I can ignore it. I would never give that company money, obviously. But
so that means that you are not going to showcase a gameplay on your channel.
Well, this is the thing. So I took a stance on Disco Elysium Mobile. I mean, it's much easier to dismiss Disco Elysium Mobile because it's a bag of shit, right? Like everything about that idea does not appeal to me whatsoever. But I was like, I kind of was like, I'm not going to inject any life into that game, not even as a critique. I didn't even want to do a video and say how shit it was, because as far as I'm concerned, that was breathing life into something that I didn't want to breathe any life into. I like to think that I'll be able to have the same stance when it comes to Zero Parades. It's a bit of a bigger question mark, I think, because by all accounts, that could be something that appeals to me. Like Disco Elysium, as I said, the mobile version would never appeal to me. But there's every chance that Zero Parades, I can't believe I'm saying this, it could appeal to me. And depends, you know, if it turns out to be good, then I think I'd probably find it hard to resist playing it. I still don't think that I would be willing to I don't know, like stream it or like.
Yeah, but I mean you're a different kind of YouTuber, right? So let's do like this. If it's good, you will shut the fuck up and you will let Jeffiot and Giacomo talk about.
Yeah, basically, exactly like I did with Disco Elysium Mobile. I just thought, well, they will offer a fair and like everything that anybody needs in that audience can be found with Jeffiot and Giacomo, because they've got like the willingness and the ability to kind of do that, right? But yeah, maybe I'll just play it quietly and, you know, text you.
Yeah,
maybe.
You're too involved. You're too involved, man. There's like a conflict of interest within you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So no, but I will not allow my own opinions on the Zone to take away from how amazing it was for you to appear in that order. Like everything else aside, right? There is I think the Disco Elysium fan base is guilty of thinking at times that everybody gives a shit about the same story on the same level that they do, but quite frankly, they don't, right? I think we've kind of realized that in Gamescom. Like, people were just like, whatever, I don't really know what you're talking
it's just a game. We are
Yeah,
consuming. We
yeah.
must consume stuff.
In fact, there was a Kim Kitsuragi who said to me, "Oh, are you looking forward to Zero Parades?" With obviously didn't have a clue who I was or anything like that, and I was like, no, not really." But it was a huge announcement because nobody in like the general public gaming space had heard a fucking word out of Zaum since Disco Elysium, and whichever way you cut it, that was a huge announcement as part of it was quite a long one as well. And then for you as a person who is inspired by, okay, not this version of the studio, but that brand and that studio gave you one of the most magical experiences of your life. And then your game is like straight after it. Like, it's amazing for you. So
yeah, that's amazing. Of course, I would have preferred it to be the game to be presented next to the next Argo game or the next Ellen game,
or GTA 6 maybe.
No, I don't want to be like that. Like I'm fucking scared that the GTA will come out the same year of Glasshouse. So the more it's distant from us, the better it will be.
Yeah,
but
well, they delayed it again, didn't they? So
nonetheless, I mean, Glasshouse exists, and it's not a secret. I don't know why people should be should be afraid about talking about their main inspiration, but it's not a secret that Glasshouse exists indeed because Disco Elysium is there, because Pathologic is out there, because Half-Life 2 is out there, because Darkwood is out there, because Narco is out there. I mean, so of course, even if it's the new Zaum, which is not the old-fashioned Zaum, it's still a good time to be alive. You know, I would never ever have guessed to be in the in that screen, inside that screen, in front of all of the people when we started that project back in May 2022. Would never have guessed that, and that's amazing. That I mean, honestly, that doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean that Glasshouse will be a good game, a great game, a masterpiece, or something like that. Doesn't mean shit being there, okay? But for people like us that started making a video game for the first time, all together, we started in 2 people, and now we are 25 people. The only rewards that we get when it's not funding to do what you love most, the only thing that you can get is like a tiny spot on yourself. And because of that, we existed, and we are thankful for that. So thank you, Kenny. Thank you to the Game Awards crew for that. You are probably the worst show in gaming history, but yet we are thankful for you existing. Yeah, at that particular moment of our life. So thank you, Kenny.
I love that. Yeah, and
I don't love your boss though, but okay.
Yeah, Jeffy. Good old Jeffy. And it didn't stop there either, actually. I mean, look, I don't think we could spend too much time talking about like just how much fucking fun we had at Gamescom. Maybe we can. That was like, you had an amazing time at Gamescom. In fact, we all had an amazing time at Gamescom.
Yes.
I was very lucky to meet you and many other cool people. We met Alex from Summer Eternal. We met the folks from Owlcat, Larian people. It was fucking an absolute ball, wasn't it? To be honest,
it was amazing. It was amazing to understand that there are more grotesque, I would say, people like me. Like
actually,
about Alexander or you, they understand each other, you know.
It was like Yeah, I know what you mean. I left Gamescom not feeling as alone in the world. I think I talked about this actually when, like, my social circle, my real life social circle, doesn't have maybe one gamer. My kids play game, but really, like, I don't have gamers in my social circles. And being at Gamescom really kind of, and it sounds cheesy to say, but it made me feel so much less alone in the world. And I think that's something that you've touched on there, like to be around people who like fucking just loved talking about games and loved talking about the cool shit in like really niche experiences in games. And like we met some people. Do you remember the guy we met who'd he'd made the board game and turned it into he's making an indie game. Can you remember what I'm talking about? Julia introduced us. The fuck game was that? No, it was Morkboard. Was it Morkboard?
Markborg.
Yeah, was that what it was called?
Yeah. Was making a side-scrolling game out of the board game.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and it just like the amount of times we'd be sat at a table and we'd just have like these random game devs come over and people that just fucking love making games. It was great. And
You know what's the coolest thing above all is
go on.
that honestly, like when we were me, you, and Alexander, or when I was with Marco and the guys from Alcats, it's not that we were actually talking about games, but rather the fact that we are people that played game, and because of that, our background culture was very much aligned. And that's the cool stuff. That's when you see what the video game generation brought to the table, to the table of the conversation, of the human relationship and such. Because it's during these moments that you understand that video games are not a minor art, a minor brother of literature, of films, of music, and such. They are part of the culture, and you can't hide from it. And that's really cool. Still, we are not so much, but yeah, it's a cool thing to be in, around being in Gamescom and knowing all of the people that shares the most of the same hobbies that you have, like and you feel like you live less in a ghetto. Okay, like if you are in Italy and you say I'm a game designer, they will answer you back and what the fuck is that? Okay, I'm making video games. So they think about, okay, so you're making toys. That's what you're making. Toys for children.
Yeah, you talk a lot about this. There's not much love for video game culture in Italy generally, is there, in your experience?
Nope. Unless it's a video game about football. Like if you look at the top tens, Italian top tens each week, you always have FIFA and Call of Duty. And when I say, and you say, how the fuck is possible? A top 10 and there's only FIFA and Call of Duty. Yes, because you have FIFA for PlayStation 5 at the first spot. Then you have FIFA for a PC. Then you have FIFA for Xbox. Then you have Call of Duty for PS5. Then you have Call of Duty for PC, and then Call of Duty for Xbox. And it's, that's it.
It's a shame.
That's what we are. Yeah. Like in Italy, if you play video game, you're playing, the mainstream ones.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't think that even, big releases like Kingdom Come or Expedition 33 managed to get on the top of that. So yeah, because of that, we gamers still live in a ghetto in Italy. A ghetto in which do something like that, it's not cool because the American culture of Silicon Valley still didn't arrive here. Okay, it's not that if you work within a tech company you are cool, no, or you are hipster. Okay, You work within a tech company, you are doing stuff for children.
So how does it how does like and we're getting way off topic here, but it's interesting now because I do like this stuff. Just like the different cultural stuff. Like you've got Georgia Meloni, who like got quite close to Elon Musk, and I'm just interested.
Far right president that we ever had.
Yeah.
And the other dictator, brother Mussolini.
Yeah. So I just like, how did that go down in Italy, given like the general view in the country on these tech bro fuckers and Silicon Valley? Like,
Nah,
to see.
they don't give a fuck. Like, one of the first things that the Fratelli d'Italia party did is to make a new minister, which was the Made in Italy minister.
Right.
So it's a minister whose job is only to advocate for made in Italy products, such as, guess it, pasta and food and stuff like that. So nothing really changed in terms of giving more funds or stuff for the tech industry. And nothing has been done neither for I don't know, I'm thinking about another strong industry that we have, like the car one, okay, because of the Ferrari or the Fiat one. And if you think about it,
Well,
Fiat,
aren't they German owned now?
yeah, but I mean, like if you think about Fiat, most of the warehouse manufacturing cars moved to Romania because of the lesser taxes. So I mean, it's not that we are not going well in terms of economic growth. In fact, we are not growing at all. So
well, neither are we.
Our debt still raises up every week. So nothing has changed. Neither the immigrants wave, which is the main reason behind the fact that they got elected. No, we are going to put a fucking shield of army ships in front of Sicily. So every time an immigrant ship arrives, we are going to take them down. And guess what? It never happened. So
yeah, well, this is the problem, isn't it? Because tackling immigration actually takes competence, and generally speaking, these right-wing parties are, well, populism in general has not got much substance to it, right? It's lots of buzzwords and trying to tap into like, we see it here with Farage at the moment. Like,
you're a swindler. You say what people want to hear.
Exactly.
Populism rely on being a reactionarist. Okay, so you react when it's late. And you blindfoldedly vote for the guy that urges on top of the corpses of the others and say, yeah, vote me because I have a solution.
Yeah.
That's the classic populist thing you do.
Yeah.
And of course, every time this happened. But I will say something because I must be coherent. Even if the government of Giorgia Meloni is the most distant thing possible from me, I must say that this is the most stable government that we had in 20 years.
Interesting. That's interesting. Is that just because of the majority that they've got in?
Still, but it's normal because normally the stableness of a government it's measured on top of your relationship, international relationship. And when you have, for the first time ever, the most far-right elected prime minister in Europe, it's really easy to, to be pretty much balanced. But then on the other side, you look at Spain and you see that there's a huge economic growth. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They're missing something. Yeah.
Yeah, very strange.
I don't know. Maybe Italy would have a better growth if we stop manufacturing and selling and supporting Israel.
Well, yeah, that'd help.
Who
Yeah.
knows? That would help.
I think we'd all like our governments to stop funding the destruction of Gaza and all the children in it. That would be lovely, really, wouldn't it? But they're a bit slow to that,
The
aren't
children in it? Really? I thought they were terrorists.
they? So let's get back to just a little bit of Glasshouse, because there's a couple of things that have happened more recently. You were doing a live stream recently. I tried to catch it actually, and I only managed to drop in for like the last 20 minutes or so. But this was the Indie X show. Tell me a little bit about that, because I think you got a nomination for Best in Show for that as well, right?
Yeah, that's
So yeah, what is
great.
that, and what does that mean?
Driving me crazy, because we try every time to apply to every possible contest, okay? But we know very well that our game is still far from being completed, okay? So we are competing against games that are, that came out and such. So it's really difficult to get a nomination in this kind of events, but we actually managed to got the nomination for a best game in the show for Indie X, which is pretty new, but well established nonetheless, Portuguese event. And in the end, we didn't win. Of course, that's what we do. We get nomination, but we don't win, and that's fine. That's super fine, because I can like showcase like 20 nominees in my Steam page.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we are getting there. We are getting there, but don't worry about it. We don't want to win. Who cares about winners? People cares about losers. So that's what
we like underdogs
among the losers. Yes, that's what I want to be. So because of that, we managed to do a live stream within the X amazing hosts. They were like a bunch of I think famous. I don't know, because I'm not Portuguese, but they were famous Portuguese streamers. And we showcased for the first time. I think it was the first time that we showcased Glasshouse in a live stream, and it felt like really, really strange. Felt like really, really strange. Strange in a good way, but still, you have a game that must be read. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're doing a stream, or you dub it, okay, or you don't read and skip it through.
Yeah.
It was more the latter one, because but the streamer already played the game, so he came up with some cool questions about the world building of Glasshouse, the general atmosphere, the inspiration, and the literary influences around how the game came to be. And it was really cool. It was really cool. It was a nice experience being a streamer. Something that I would like to not do for the rest of my life, but from now on, yeah, that's fine. Especially if it comes to market your game, because you don't have a publisher, so you have to do the thing that you least prefer. But that's what you have to do. You need to promote your game. You need to market your game. Listen to me, fellow game devs. Fucking promote your game somehow, in the most quirky way possible, but do it. And yeah, it was cool. It was cool because you see, it's not so distant by the discourse that we did about the Gamescom, but it's part of the thing. You see the game for the first time live streamed in a container, okay, which is the box of Twitch, and it feels magical, and it feels real, and it was good.
Yeah. Good. And again, there was lots of good stuff going on in the chat from what I saw as well. So I think people are like, as you say, you said you're getting there, and I think that's the thing. You keep chipping away
slowly, like a Polaco capybara.
Polaco, exactly. Yeah, just slow and steady, and you're slowly winning the hearts and minds of people. And on that, actually, we've just got to, like, today was the last day of a Discord playtest. So you rewarded your loyal Discord flatmates, as you affectionately know them.
Don't say like that, like loyal Discord flatmate. You make us seem like a cult.
Well,
That's a Discord server, you know.
No. You are a cult. That's I'm calling you out on that, definitely. You've got little names for them, flatmates. You know, like you wear a red hat that says "Make Italy Great Again."
That's the marketing part of me taking over.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not the spirit part of me taking over.
But how's that gone? Like, how many people have you managed to give access to? Like, how's it worked? What's the response been? How many people have been able to play test your game?
We did. So the idea behind the playtest was, of course, that we are preparing ourselves for a Steam playtest, okay, which is the biggest moment for us possible.
Yeah.
So because of that, we decided to do a private but open playtest on our Discord. Because the idea what's the idea around it? Like when you have a playtest on Steam, you have a bigger audience. We have a 42,000 wish list, so you have a bigger audience, and the Steam algorithm pushes you on the home page of the people that might be interested in your game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it was tricky because we are not a company, so we can't rely on QA testers, contractor, or outsourcing QA company. Okay, so we needed to do a playtest, another playtest after the Gamescom one. So we decided, we promised, and then we delivered, because that's what we do, to our Discord members to give them an early version of the Steam playtest, and that's what we did. That's what we did in the end, because the idea is that it's more difficult to read a Steam deblog and you see that, hey, there's a playtest online, but you need to click on a Discord link. Once you are into Discord, you need to click into the demo section of the game, and then you have to click on the Google Drive link. And once you are into the Google Drive link, you need to click to download it, and then click to unzip the file, and then click to the exe file. We're talking about 7 clicks, okay? And people are lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
So we knew by doing that we would have, like, if someone really wants to play our game, he will go through these 8 clicks, okay? But that means that the guy that is going to give us a feedback will be not loyal, but very inclined to give us feedback. So that's what we did. We also did a very hacker thing, a very unspeakable things for customers, which is when you close the Glasshouse game, a browser page will automatically open on a Google form. One of the most unspeakable things that we could do.
That's like that's like the
like
video.
a virus, you know. It's like a virus. If you exit Glasshouse, you are fucked. You need to do that form or close it. So another click.
Yeah. That's like the video game version of, you know, how theme parks make sure that there's a gift store immediately after the fucking roller coaster experience. Yeah.
It's like putting an ID directly when you close the game, which probably will piss off players, but we need feedback, and we can get with our cult members. And that's what we did. We gained a lot of data. We know what works. We know what doesn't work, and we know what to do now. We know what to do, and we are already doing it for the next iteration of the playtest, which will happen. I can say that, but very soon, very soon. It will happen very soon. I will tell you when the mics are closed. But soon, Glasshouse will also be playable on Steam through the playtest function, which means you can't just download Glasshouse from Steam, but you need to go on the Steam page and request the access. And we can decide if to give you the access or not.
Oh, this is like this is something they do a lot now, isn't it? Where you can request to be
But that's once again, that's another marketing thing, because the demo thing that you put out a demo on Steam, it's a one used thing, because when you put a demo there, Steam will consider the demo going out as some kind of major release. So it will give you only once the attention. So you want to use that demo very well. It's like the Steam the Steam Next Fest or such. Plus, when you put out the demo, Steam will automatically send a notification to all of your wish list. Okay, so realistically, you want to use the tool once you have the most possible wish list.
Maximum reach.
Maximum reach. So for now, we will do a Steam playtest. There are still Glasshouse is not still feature complete. There are still a lot of stuff that we want to reiterate on, and we don't have money, but we have plenty of time. Honestly, I mean, no one is running towards. There's no logic of the market to come out before Zero Parade. Otherwise, we are fucked. We don't want to become rich with Glasshouse. We just want to become developers with it. So whatever happens, it will happen. But we want to take our time to develop good things, and we are doing it in a very transparent way with you, peeps, helping us a lot. Gathering feedback and such. And we had a lot of graphs and parameters out of those Google Forms that are really good. We found out that people really love the Glasshouse world. We found out that they enjoyed a lot the writing, which is good, because I was shitting myself out of it. We found out that the user experience was not up to par yet. So that's a big thing, because when they say to you, the idea behind the combat is really good, but I did not understand a shit about how it works, that means a lot. Okay, which means that we need to work on the tutorial, we need to work on the UI, we need to work on the user experience, we need to add more GUIs in order to let the player understand on a subconscious level what to do, how to do it, and in a sort of way being like a puppeteer to shape the emotions of the player. That's what we do as game devs, as game designer. We need to predict the behavior of the players, and we need time to do that. But this Discord playtest gave us already a lot of feedback. Like when you see that there are people that out of a 40-minute demo sit down and write like a papyrus of 7 pages of what they think about the mechanics of Glasshouse, or about this kind of short circuit in which the revolutionaries are not the revolutionaries, but are the conservatives of our world. It's really cool to see this kind of stuff. It makes feel your game real, and feels like even if it was just for 40 minutes, we left something in your heart, in your mind, or in your finger. Even if it was just to fuck us off for the god awful UX that we are providing to you from this early build. But hey, we are a pre-alpha. We are in pre-alpha, which means that we can still change a shit ton of stuff. And that's why we're asking for your help. Because when you are in pre-alpha, it's not like you are in beta, on the beta of Battlefield, in which the only thing that they are looking for is to understand how the netcode works. When you are in pre-alpha, you ask for feedback, and the feedback can actually change the game that you will have in 2 years or 2 years and a half or such. So please, you can't participate to the Discord playtest because we are registering now, which is the 7th of November, which is the last day to participate the Discord playtest, but you will have the chance to do it very, very, very soon. When are you going to publish this thing?
Probably this weekend, most likely tomorrow, so the 8th of November.
Okay. Very, very soon. Very soon.
So that
Like very soon, guys.
Okay.
Very soon. And I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think it's fucking it's one of the most impressive set of ideas in a game that I've seen in a long time. So I think you're all very humble and your feet are very firmly on the ground. That is for sure. But I think I can do a bit of that less humble stuff on your behalf and say that you are creating something which I think has huge amounts of promise and like has some really fucking impressive thought going into all of its ideas, and I'm really willing you on to pull it all off and put it together. So I wanted to just talk at the
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope to manage to wrap it on the soon as possible, because I can't wait to make a cozy game.
Yeah.
That would be my dream, like making a fucking cozy games.
A little fishing game.
All you do is to, do the set dressing of your room, and then you smoke a huge joint like this. Like a mature rated cozy game.
Yeah, I like that.
Which you jerk off before going at bed. Yeah, we are going too far. Okay.
Yeah, you're going back to our Gamescom experience where you mostly tried to undress me with your eyes, and vice versa. It was a mutual feeling. I want to talk to just a couple more things to finish off the interview, mate, if you don't mind. I wanted to point people towards. So you've got a YouTube channel now.
But now we have two. Actually,
okay, tell us about the YouTube presence and what you're aiming to do with it, because I think you've got like very cool thing going on there, but you talk to me about what you're doing and what you aim to achieve with it and what people can find on there.
So we have two channels. The first one is the Glasshouse official channel, in which we are going only to release stuff related to Glasshouse. Okay, so official trailers, overview, gameplay footage, and such. And then we recently opened a Flat28 collective channel, which is a whole different format. It's more of a weird mix between a devlog and a documentary, because the main target is still, the guys interested in seeing how a game is developed. But what I'm trying to do here is trying to frame it within a documentary structure. So it's a documentary structure with devlog content. And that's what we are doing. The main objective is that to not rely solely on Glasshouse, but to showcase all of the amazing jobs that all of the others from Flat28 did. Like I'm a filmmaker, I'm a director. I don't give a fuck about being in front of the camera. I want to stay behind the camera. Okay. Yep. So as much as I hate to be like right here being the front man for others, I preferred for the Flat28 channel page to give the space that the concept artists deserve, the 3D artists deserve, the animator deserve, not the programmer, because I will never let Samuele speak. It will make us ban in 2 seconds. But other than that, that's the idea around it. Like, meet Flat28 collective, meet what they are working on, see the philosophy of production behind Glasshouse, and who knows, see what will happen next. Because a thing that I always say is that Flat28 Collective right now is working on a game. That doesn't necessarily mean that the next project that we will do will be a game. Or that doesn't necessarily mean that the next video game that we will do will be directed by me.
Yeah.
Because that's the cool stuff of Flat28 Collective. You need to divide what's Flat28 Collective and what's the project of Glasshouse. So Glasshouse is the first project born under Flat28 Collective. And because it was my initial idea of something that I wrote 2 years prior to Glasshouse actually being a video game, I became the creative director. But even if I am the founder of Flat28 Collective, I can make Vitus, I can make decision on behalf of others. Okay. When we are talking about Glasshouse, there's a very elastic hierarchy, and in the end there's a vision, and we try the most that we can to, collect all of the feedback, all of the different vision to make it one. Okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Flat28 Collective, like, should we let another member enter inside the collective? Should we promote Glasshouse at the Gamescom opening night live? Should we do this? Should we do that? Should we close the project of Glasshouse? When it comes to the actual administration of the collective, we're talking about direct democracy, because my vote isn't worth like five people. My vote is worth like one.
Yep.
Every time we make a popular vote in which the majority decide.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't remember if I've told that during the last podcast episode, but one time I proposed to the popular vote of Flat28 to close the development of Glasshouse, and in the end, I was the only one who voted in favor of closing Glasshouse project.
No, you didn't tell me that last time, but you,
and the rest of the others voted against me. And I will never be thankful enough for their decision. And yeah, that's it.
Do you want to talk a little bit more, because you told me about that in Germany? Do you want to tell the audience a little bit more about where your head was at and why?
Really briefly. Glasshouse was funded by 3 people, and in the end, 2 years ago, 2 years and a half ago, basically because of, I would say, artistic divergences, the 2 other founders left the project. So I felt like something needed to change. I was in really tough times in terms of my relationship with the world in general, what I was doing about my life and such. And at some point I felt like I was alone. Like I tended to care a lot about stuff and context, and to continue developing something without the others that managed to make Glasshouse what it is today. I felt like a thief or something like that. So because of that, I inducted a meeting across all of the departments of Flat28 Collective, and we talk about it. And I proposed to shut down the development, because honestly, I wasn't mentally capable of handling that. And what I saw is a really united group of people against me, and that was the most amazing thing that I could ever wish for. because they were there in the moment in which I needed them most. And 2 years after we rebooted the development of Glasshouse, and we are now. That's where we are.
Yeah,
And
thanks for sharing that, because I know that it was that was a tough time for you to go through, and that's the kind of thing that doesn't happen if you're like creative director sat at the top of the hierarchy, where because you could have easily in that position where it's not a democracy thrown it all away for reasons that you would regret later on, and things that would eventually change in your own thing. And actually in a rather poetic way, actually they did show you exactly I think the important thing is when you talk about how the fact that you were feeling alone, that whole turn of events must have really drove home just how wrong you were to think you were alone.
Absolutely,
right?
I love
Yeah.
to be wrong, but that's the thing. That's the thing about Glasshouse. It's in its entirety. Okay, as a concept, and also as a video game. We don't fight people. We fight problems. Okay.
Yeah.
So when there's a problem, we don't fight each other's. Like, yeah, but you decide to do that because you have done that and that. No, we decide what works and what doesn't. And in the end, the main objective is Glasshouse. Okay, that's the most important thing of all, and that's our main culture. And because of that, I need to thank John Cassavetes, because if we are using this kind of philosophy over the collective or over the production of Glasshouse, it's because John Cassavetes existed, make very important movies, masterpieces of the film industry, and teached us something really important, like work what it works, and a vision can be bended around it, and the creative director or a director or a lead, it's there only if there's a need for it. But other than that, we must be elastic as much as possible. And that's what we are doing for Glasshouse, what we did for Flat28, what we're still continue doing it, and what hopefully we'll do in the future after Glasshouse.
Amazing stuff. And it's good to hear about, in amongst that, I didn't really mention it, but I love that you're thinking beyond the world of games, and you are definitely someone that I've seen who is capable of that, as of, some of the team that you're with as well. So I can't wait to see what I think is going to be a very long and fruitful future for Glasshouse. But I would like to finish this return of Giacomo with one final question. You talked a little bit about where you referenced the fact that there's going to be opportunities soon for people to interact with Glasshouse. And I know that you're taking things slow, and you are, your philosophy is to do things steady. But I wonder, do you have a view on where you are towards the end of the year, and what are we going to be talking about in terms of Flat28 going into 2026?
So that's the cool thing about not having a publisher. You don't have NDAs, so you can say the fuck you want. So to be clear, internally we made a popular decision in which, if by the end of this year we didn't manage to make an agreement with a publisher, earn funding thanks to an investor or such, we will do a suicide move, which is to go through the self-publishing route. Okay, if we go through the self-publishing route, we are going to suffer even more, because we will have to do marketing for ourselves like we did before, but we need to do it like really properly. And and then we'll see, because a lot of stuff could happen. Like we will try maybe a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo. It's really difficult because after Star Citizen, after all of the day before, in such, I mean, asking for money to people, it's really difficult, because all of the project that you pitch might be a scam or something, and people tend to not trust us developers anymore like it used to during the years of 80s or Super Meat Boy. Okay, now the gaming spectrum is really different than it was before. We live in a different time. War never changes. And
Pillars of Eternity was the big one. If talking about that golden era of Kickstarters, that was a big one, wasn't it? Was it Pillars of Eternity? Yeah.
Pillars of Eternity, one of the highest peak. But even if you think about Divinity.
Yes.
The Divinity original sin was funded by Kickstarter.
Yeah.
No? So probably we will try that.
Yep.
If we don't manage to do that, we will do the most suicide thing possible, because that's about the theater of tragedy, no? Never-ending cycles of violence and suffering and broken bones, which is to try to split Glasshouse in episodes, like Taki Road Zero or Life is Strange.
Yeah,
which is something that has never been done for a CRPG. Okay, keep it in mind. We're not talking about early access, because early access for CRPGs, unless you're not a huge company like like Larian, okay, it will be like a bloodbath, okay, because people doesn't want to play something early if a story-driven game, if the story could change along the way, okay. So what we want, we are thinking about is to split the Glasshouse in acts which are completed. So what you play will be completed, and it will not change in the future, with the idea that we will finish the prologue and Act 1 of Glasshouse, sell it, and then Act 2 and Act 3 and Exodus will be DLCs out of it, very low cost. That's it. That's the idea around it. It's like we have the plan from the A to the Z, and that's the plan Z. So one way or another, we will manage to deliver this chimera of a game. Yeah.
Well, I love it, mate. I'm so pleased that you that Plan Z doesn't result in you giving up on it, right?
No, that's not possible. That's
it's
really not possible, but not because of me. Not because of me. Most possible human being ever. It's because of the rest of the people of Flat28, because they will not give up. Never.
No, it's good.
Absolutely never. And could be like, since it's never been done, could be the most possible genius thing ever to split a CRPG in episode, or more likely it will be the worst possible idea ever. Okay, so we will see. Ask me about it in 2 years and we'll see how it went.
Like you said, I'm going to come bring you on every year just to see how much you've aged, how much money you've thrown down the drain, and how happy you are, and check in on Glasshouse. Listen, mate, I once again thank you very much for giving me your time. I love talking to you. I can't wait to see what you guys do. And I'll no doubt have you back on here again to talk about Glasshouse, hopefully with funding, publishers, and all of that good shit going for you. So
who gives a fuck about funding? We need to suffer in order to make something valuable, so that's fine.
yeah. I'm not going to sway you from that particular thought path, am I? Okay, mate. Yeah, look, another great chat with you, Giacomo. Thank you very much, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you so much, Joe.
I love you, mate. Bye.
Take care.